going on, y'all? So I'm out here at work on my patrol, graveyard shift, obviously. I just felt like making a video, kind of like how I used to do. I'm also simultaneously trying not to run into spider webs because it's very muggy out here, and it always seems to bring the spiders out when it's muggy outside. But I'm just, like I said, it's very quiet out here. It's like a big giant warehouse in like the country area. And I'm basically just patrolling like the parking lot. Literally, I'm the only one here. I actually tried to make a video yesterday, but for some reason, like YouTube knocked me off, and I just said the heck with it. I didn't try to remake it again because I had already, recorded like damn near an hour of me that I'm doing right now last night. But for whatever reason, YouTube cut it off and didn't let me upload it, so I just said the heck with it. So just checking these doors, making sure they're locked. But yeah, this is what I'm doing right now. I walked all the way from way down there, and I'm just going along this whole side of this warehouse, checking and making sure that no one's back here stealing any equipment or no doors are unlocked, which I did lock doors. So I let my supervisor know because, well, last night was my first night here, and we got a complaint that, or evidently a complaint or something happened where I got a pretty stern message this morning about, them finding doors unlocked, and god dang it, my cup's lid's coming off. About them finding unlocked doors on the, hold on 1 second, y'all, on the property yesterday, which, I got like a 3-minute rundown of what to do last night, and I was not even told that I had to even check all these doors. But I very graciously basically got scolded by my supervisor, and she basically told me that they've been having people out here periodically caught trying to, I guess, take equipment or steal or stuff like that. And if, any equipment was stolen on our shift, that we will be held responsible, like whatever the fuck that means. So, I mean, I don't know when they say like responsible, but I guess they mean like we have to make sure that we, I guess notate it, or, I guess catch it, I guess, because we're supposed to do like a foot patrol, like what I'm doing right now. Well, actually a vehicle patrol every hour. So, within an hour, if we're not doing those patrols and something happens, I'm guessing we'll get fired or something like that, I guess. So, like I said, I was not told that yesterday. I was basically just told that, just stay out here, that things hadn't really been set up yet. But, I don't know. But yeah, that's basically what I'm doing right now. I'm just, like I said, patrolling this entire, and there's also a backside of this building on the other side, where I had to drive around, and I already checked the other side about 15-20 minutes ago. I'm doing the same thing on that side as I'm doing on this side. So that's basically what I'm doing right now. I made a post yesterday saying that this job is literally an introvert's dream come true, because nobody's really out here. I'm basically the only one. I had a truck driver come here to deliver a a load, and no one's here, so he's not really able to get unloaded right now. So basically, it's just him here. He's on the other end of this parking lot. And yeah, it's just him and nobody else here. I'm not sure what time the actual construction crew comes in, but yeah, other than that, it's just me. So, I just like sharing with people that watch my channel. The very few people that I do have watch this channel, kind of like a day in the life type of thing. For anyone that's interested, I like gigs like this because I don't really feel like dealing with people generally. I like kind of having my own space. I'm not really a people person. If I have to be to, make my money, then I will, but I'm not really a people person. I'm not really an office person. Even though I can work in any environment, I'm adaptable, I'm flexible, but I just prefer stuff where I'm just kind of on my own, doing my own thing. Like just tell me what to do and I'll do my job. I don't need people to supervise me or nothing like that. Like, as long as I know what to do and I have this thing coupled and I have clear instructions, or they'll call them post orders, then I'm good. Now, if it's just very vague or unclear, instructions on how to do my job, well then yeah, you might get those results. But as long as I have clear, precise instructions on what to do, then typically, that's lots. Typically, God dang it, this fucking lid. QT, I'm gonna need y'all to make some better fitting lids for your cups because these things keep coming off. It's very annoying. But anyway, yeah. So it's good. It's a good exercise too. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Nobody's out here. I don't see anybody out here trying to mess with nothing. But I did want to make a video. I guess I might as well since I'm already out here. So I watched the video today. I think it was. My days always get kind of mixed up when I'm on third shift. But I think it was a guy named Trey Henderson or something like that. And I watch his channel every now and then. And he was basically, lately, his content seems to be kind of up and down, he's up and down. Meaning, emotionally, he just seems to kind of be going through it mentally for whatever reason. And in the past, more so, he used to seem to be, more upbeat and I guess more, I hate using the word positive, but, he seems to be in a more positive state of mind. But lately, when I do watch his channels or content, he just seems to be just not really in a good place. And I don't know. I just feel like a lot of men in general, I don't know what it is. I feel like a lot of men in general, even myself, mentally, it's a very, very hard world for men. And I'm not saying it's not women too, but I'm a person that believes that men have a lot harder time generally in life than what women do. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to come off and sound misogynistic or sexist or whatever you want to call it, but I really do believe and feel like this, especially when it comes to the dating arena and the criteria that is used in the standards that is used to judge men on, their worthiness of being a partner when it comes to dating and, having access to, romantic relations and stuff like that. Like men are judged very harshly. It's like we've already got to be attractive, good looking, tall, just overall have a good aesthetic. Things that we really can't, we've already got to basically pass that barrier to find a person that also wants us back. So if we happen to be lucky enough to be born into a physical avatar or body or whatever you want to call it, that is appealing to the opposite sex that we are also, visually attracted to, then it's not just that. Then we have to also simultaneously, find a way to make sure that we make lots of money and that we are financially stable and able to provide for a woman, right? So we have to be good looking, we have to be tall, generally, because women, they equate height with, protection, security, and, generally women, view, this is the other side of the building right here, y'all. This is the other side. See, I had to walk. So I drove all the way down there. And then I'm way down there. And I have to walk all the way back down. And then drive all the way back down. And then drive all the way back to the other side. So, just a quick reference of, and I have to basically make sure no one's back here trying to steal or mess with any of this equipment, the construction equipment that this construction company has back here, which, like I said, it's pretty chill. I have an actual guard shack that I'm staying in right now that is has an AC, and there's a bathroom on site, so and there's like an outlet I can charge my phone, and I have a chair. So in between patrols, I'm just kind of chilling and doing nothing basically. But yeah, so like I was saying, as a man, generally I feel like it's just way harder, especially when it comes to dating. And I this is how I feel, y'all. This is my opinion, and I know that people are going to say, I feel like a lot of men today have lost a lot of drive and motivation for life, in the sense that most men today, they find themselves in a world where, first of all, men are basically being made to feel like they're not needed or wanted, and that there's literally something wrong with being a masculine man. Basically, meaning like, men that are masculine, truly masculine, like, they're going to stand up for themselves. They're going to speak up when they feel like people are treating them in ways that are, is taking them for granted or being disrespectful. And a masculine man, when he feels like someone's disrespecting him or, taking him for granted or kind of just playing with him, what I'm saying? Like, just generally playing with him, playing with his emotions, toying with his emotions, wasting his time. He's going to set some type of standard or boundary of like, hey, as a man, like, I can't just not say anything and just let stuff be any kind of way. I got to let you know what it is, because how can you respect me as a man if I don't speak up for myself, or if I don't set some type of standard for, like, the type of shit, I allow, how I allow people to treat me. You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy because I feel like women, they'll say they want a man that doesn't let people treat him like a doormat. In other words, they want a masculine man, but when that man starts to basically set boundaries and standards, meaning when he says, okay, I don't appreciate that, or I don't think that's cool what you doing, or if you're gonna be with me, like, you can't be doing stuff like that. I'm not trying to control you and possess you, and that's the problem. Like, anytime a man basically speaks up and pretty much puts his foot down on things that he just ain't gonna go for, it's seen as you're trying to control or dominate the female or the feminine counterpart. You want to possess her, you want to tell her what to do. But it's like, whenever women have these crazy standards about how much a man has to make and what they demand and expect from him, you don't see anybody saying, oh, well, you're entitled, or women have so many demands for men, and you just don't see women being attacked for all these, demands and requirements that, they have for men. Some of them are like, you have to basically, take her out on like an expensive first date, like spend hundreds of dollars on her on the first date when you don't even know her yet. Like, I might not even like you. You might not like me. Why would I invest that much into somebody that might not even like me? Right? And again, there's such a high standard that women have, especially nowadays, modern women. And again, I'm not trying to make this into a, women against men thing. I'm really not, y'all. And I hate that I have to say that, because again, anytime a man expresses himself when it comes to these types of debates or topics, we are automatically labeled women haters, insecure, controlling, bitter. Like, nobody actually hears what we have to say. Like, no one actually wants to take the time to hear what men have to say. Nobody cares. Or it's just, if they do, it's only men that women feel like, meaning like it's the Chads or the women that women really desire to have. If you're not one of those men, even if you're doing all the right things in life, you're working towards becoming one of those men, like, how you feel literally does not matter. And so with this environment, with this, with this modern dating world, a lot of men just kind of feel like, what's the point? And what do I mean by that? I feel like a lot of a man's drive in life comes from working towards bettering himself to be able to share his life with somebody, have a family, get married, or not get married, just date. I don't know. But again, men are finding out in today's modern world that most women don't even want to get married. A lot of them don't even want to have kids, or they already have kids by multiple other men. And most men that don't have kids generally don't want to have or start a family with the woman that already has kids or has kids and doesn't want any more kids. So a lot of the drive, or a lot of the things that drive men to better themselves, in this present world that we find ourselves in, just those reasons for a lot of men are almost non-existent or extinct. Meaning, going, getting a career or some kind of skill to provide for himself and then his family or his wife and kids or girlfriend, whatever the case may be, etc. Men are finding that or feel like a lot of women are not even worthy of that kind of man anymore, because what I'm seeing as well is women don't really seem to appreciate anything men do nowadays. They don't acknowledge it. They don't appreciate it. Or on the opposite spectrum, it's now this thing of, we don't need y'all. I'm independent. I can take care of myself. I don't need no man for nothing kind of thing. And, very few people seemingly don't believe in, Um, Exclusive dating or relationships. It's like people don't even know what it means to date anymore. I'm seeing more and more people into this poly thing because evidently nowadays people feel like just being with one person isn't enough. You need multiple people to fulfill your sexual needs and fantasies and stuff like that. Somewhere along the way, just being with one person is not realistic. You know what I'm saying? So now this whole big modern trend of, you know, poly, what they call it, poly lifestyle, where basically everyone just kind of, it's a free for all basically. Everyone is just kind of sleeping around with everybody. And, you know, why have one partner when you can have multiple partners? And I'm not here to judge and say if that's right or wrong, because that's not my place. All I'm saying is there are still people out there that don't want to have multiple partners. They just want one person to share their life with. But the people that get the most attention are people that make it seem like that's all that everybody wants now, is just a polyistic lifestyle where everyone just wants to be with multiple people. My thing is, if I want to be with multiple people romantically, I feel like what's the point in even being in a relationship? You know what I mean? Like just stay single. Just screw it. Who you just, you know what I'm saying? Like what's the point? Like what is the point in even having a relationship or having an open relationship? Just be single. You know what I'm saying? When people say we're in a poly relationship or, you know, we're in an open relationship, it's just like, bro, like if you are sleeping with multiple people and then the people that you're sleeping with are sleeping with multiple people and then the people that they're sleeping with are sleeping with you are literally sleeping with so many people. You're basically dealing with multiple energies, because those women that you're sleeping with are having sexual relations with other men, and those other men that those women are sleeping with, that you're sleeping with, they're having relations with other women. So just think about how quickly like this whole thing kind of just, you know, spirals into oblivion. And again, like I say, a lot of the reason I feel like many men are just kind of like, just don't really have a drive for life and just not really motivated to do anything really big, is because they feel like the main reasons that men be going that hard is for reasons like that. Now, I know what people are going to say. Well, you shouldn't really base, you know, wanting to improve your life on a woman or a relationship. You should do it anyway. I just, honestly, I feel like it's cool to say that. It's cool to do that, but biologically, I feel like men literally are just built that way. In other words, men biologically, like their drive in life to go out and conquer is to do it for that woman, is to do it for that child or those children. You know, this isn't just, I feel like it's built into a man's genetics to literally be motivated and driven to accomplish just, you know, whatever somebody would consider self-improvement or, you know, building some type of financial security. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that men are just completely not doing that because of the modern dating world. I just feel like a lot of that drive and, you know, that men have to like really go hard in life is just not there. Now obviously they're going to do what they need to do to make sure that, you know, they have their needs met, you know, general basic food and shelter, but just that, it's kind of hard to explain, like just that energy, that extra drive that, you know, that men have to just go hard. It's it's not there. And a lot of men just kind of feel like, you know, what's the point in doing all this stuff? And I feel like, and I'm kind of one of those men on certain levels, like, you know, obviously I'm still, you know, working to improve my life, my situation in different areas, but also too, like, I don't really care about a lot of things that I used to, you know, like I don't care about necessarily rushing to have a house, you know, or get a nice car. You know, I have vehicles, but my vehicles are not really, you know, all that attractive. I could have gotten a more attractive vehicle, but I chose not to. I could have gotten a house, but I chose not to. Like, I live in an RV right now. If I, more than likely, if I was in a serious relationship or, you know, had kids or something like that, I would definitely more than likely be in a house right now, because I mean, I can get one right now. I don't really see the point in, it's just like, why? Why spend more money when I literally don't need to? What am I going to do with a 3-4 bedroom house? Now, again, it's not, at some point in time, yes, I will get a house regardless of whether I'm in a relationship or not, or I have kids or not. But as of right now, I don't see the need for one. Oh, God, freaking spider webs. You know, I just don't see the need for one. So it's just something that I don't really care about right now. You know, and what I feel, what I see is a lot of men are just completely neglecting a lot of the things that, you know, society kind of pressures us to do, like, you know, become stable and, you know, get a house and get a nice car and a house with a nice picket fence to bring your wife, your kids back to and take care of them. And men are just like, you know, I'm going to just get a motorcycle, get an RV and just travel and have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have any responsibilities. I don't have a ton of money. I don't really have a lot of reasons to want to become this big deal. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have a lot of reasons to want to do all these things that society kind of made me feel like I'm supposed to do just because I'm a man. That it makes myself a better option or, you know, choice for dating a woman. You know what I'm saying? Or a woman wanting to choose me. You know, if I have a nice car and I have, you know, a successful business, stuff like that. Again, granted, the fuck is this? Now, granted, again, that is not to say that as a man, I am not currently working on, just in general, improving my financial status in life. Like right now, I am in the process of I'm going to stop saying trying. I am, you know, building a brand right now, a clothing brand. I just got the website redone. I'm like making new designs like literally every day. I'm going to probably make some more when I get back to the guard shack. And, you know, I'm hoping, trying to manifest this brand just kind of growing and evolving and improving, you know, with every, you know, that's the intention. So, you know, I am, you know, working on improving my options, my financial, you know, status in life. You know, whenever this brand takes off, I'm going to use it as a stepping stone to generate income, to generate more income. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that everything in life should be about dating women. That's not what I'm saying. You should be doing things to improve your life with or without women. I do agree with that. But what I'm saying is, men are just designed in a way to where I feel like by a lot, the primal drive of a man to do those types of things on a very basic level is driven by biological, genetic um, things that are just ingrained in a man's take care, have a family. Like men are designed to do that stuff, that to have someone to take care of. Men do those things to be able to take care of and provide for kids. And it's just I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just how men are. Just like we can't explain or understand why women do the things that they do. I don't know why. That's just how men are, and that's what kind of drives men to want to be more driven in life because of women and kids and family. But that's just how we were created by the creator, I guess. I don't know. And this is just my this is just my theory. This is just my thoughts. I know that a lot of people will probably have a lot of pushback and feel like, well, you should do those things regardless. You shouldn't need a woman to want to be better in life, and you shouldn't make it all about women. And that's why I'm saying, like, no, everything should not be about a woman. But saying that, and which you actually are driven by biologically, genetically, instinctively, are two different things. Like, you can't talk your way out of biology and genetics and nature. You can say that it shouldn't be about that, but genetically, nature-wise, like, if your whole biology and programming and conditioning, universally speaking, is on that operating system, and the universe doesn't make mistakes, then who are you or who are we to say that you shouldn't care if you have a woman or not? You should go hard in life regardless. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, I just feel like a lot of men, coming back to this, YouTube character where he was basically, Trent Henderson. He just seems kind of just like, I don't care. Like he literally said, I want to give up. I don't care anymore, because I feel like a lot of men feel like nowadays they don't really have any reasons to go that hard. They don't. See, here's the other side right here, y'all. That's my guard shack right there. And then I have to walk all the way or drive all the way down there. I can drive down here. Let's see. I'll drive all the way down here. So I was just on that side down there, and I have to go. I already did this side earlier, but I have to walk all the way down there, way down there. So yeah. But yeah, this is basically, look at that little mouse. This is basically what I'm doing, y'all. And again, this is my guard shack down here. I'll say it's a little chill. It's a little chill setup. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I feel like men nowadays just feel like they don't really have a reason to go. Men, they still go hard for themselves, but they don't really have a real reason to go that hard. Again, because masculine men that have a backbone, I feel like women say they want that, but then when men actually are that, now you're being controlling, now you're being possessive. And it's like, no, like, don't you want a man that speaks up and tells you when he feels like you're kind of bullshitting him, when you're kind of just wasting his time and, playing him like he's like some kind of boy toy or something like that? You're being wishy-washy. You expect me to read your mind, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want some guy, like, you're not even, like, women aren't even attracted to men that won't say anything. But then when a man says something, oh, you're being possessive, you're being controlling. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. Or it's a thing where, certain men that women find more sexually appealing it's okay when they do it, but if you're not that attractive, then when you do it, you're just being insecure, possessive, and you know, dominating or some shit. Are you doing like toxic masculinity or some shit, or you're displaying toxic masculinity if you're not one of those men that women find, attractive sexually. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many different. Um, there's a lot of double standards, and a lot of men, I feel, like I said, I don't know, I'm not a psychic or anything, but I just feel a lot of men are just looking for a reason to why they're still doing what they're doing. Men, a lot is expected of men. Just because you're a man, a lot is expected of you. And it's like, there's no appreciation, like there's no acknowledgement, there's no respect. It's just, well, you're a man, that's what you're supposed to. And a lot of men now, they're just saying like, no, I don't. Like, why would I do that? Like, for example, like if you're a man, you're just expected to pay for a woman's date on the first date. It's like, why? Why do you expect that? Well, you're a man. It's the gentleman thing to do. Yeah, but you might not even like me. You might get up after I take you to this expensive ass restaurant and be like, I don't think you're attractive. I don't like you. Bye. So why should I as a man just start putting out money on somebody that I don't even know likes me? I have no problem with treating my woman, pampering my wife, my girlfriend, whatever the case, with, nice stuff. But I feel like men should only do that type of stuff first and foremost is if you already know that woman is going to be there regardless of if you do those things or not. When you try to lead with gifts and money and trips and, you know what I'm saying? That's where I feel like a lot of guys, and I used to be like that. But I got smarter and I realized, well, listen, if I stop doing this stuff, is this woman going to still want to be with me? You know what I'm saying? Is she just with me because of, now and then, just whatever I'm doing. If she's only there for those benefits, then what are we doing? It's like, you don't even like me, because I know there's a very high probability that there's some guy that's getting your cheeks that you're not requiring any of these things for. You're not requiring him to take, outings or trips, or, you're not requiring him to have a certain amount, financial status or just status in general. You're not requiring him to have a nice fancy car. You're not requiring him to do all this stuff just because you're attracted to him. And that's fine. I'm not here to argue one way but men know this dynamic goes on. Men know that there's women that make them do way more than them simply because they're not that attracted to them sexually. Like, we as men, we're well aware that there's some men, there could be a guy that is homeless, has no car, no job, can literally do nothing financially for a woman, but man, does he have some pretty brown eyes. Man, does he have a nice six pack. Man, does he tall. No homo. No diddy. But man, is he attractive. No homo again. You know what I'm saying? Homeless. A woman will literally a homeless man into her home that has no job, no car. Literally, but she will go over beyond to basically, what's the word? Facilitate this kind of man if she's attracted to him. Men know this. Men know this. Men know that this goes on. They know. So men have stopped going over and beyond for women the way that they used to, because they're realizing that a lot of them are realizing that they're being strung along, while another man that is not having to do nowhere near half of what they're doing is getting all the benefits of all the resources that, a lot of them were basically putting up front to, impress this woman or to make her happy or to make her feel special. But when she gets some resources, she's actually putting and basically giving all the rewards to the man that she's just more physically attracted to. And so a lot of the reason why men don't do a lot of the gentleman or manly things that they used to do is because men started catching on and realizing that, oh, she just wants me for the benefits. She doesn't even like me like that. She doesn't even like me like that. Clarence from down the way is clapping cheeks on a second date. I've been dating this chick going on 3-4 months. How you doing? A hug, a kiss, nothing. But damn, Clarence, he's tall, you know what I'm saying? He's you know what I'm saying? He ain't got no car, he ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got no license. But he sure is tall. You know what I'm saying? He sure does look like something. You know what I'm saying? Terrence is knocking that down. I drop her off to a house. None of this shit that old boy done. This shit happens. So this the dating modernly for men is different. And this is why a lot of women are like, well, what happened? Why don't men act like men no more? This is why. Whenever you have a situation where, men are putting all this effort in and they're sitting here realizing that all the men that really ain't putting no effort in and get all the benefits, and you doing all this work, putting all this effort into, basically trying to get this woman, on your team, find a nice woman to date, you know what I'm saying? And then you realize that dynamic is operating, is happening. You as a man are going to just be like, you know what, bro? Okay. A lot of men have just checked out of the version of man that does those kinds of things. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be real. I'm one of them. I used to be the kind of man that did way too much for a woman without her really deserving it, just because she was pretty and I wanted her to like me, or I didn't think I was that good looking. So for her to be worth my time, or for me to be worth her time, I got to do stuff to keep her or to get her. Now I realize how insanely flawed and ridiculous, those actions were.